with a 6-liter Vortec. Huh, that's not good. Ooh, what the hell is that? All right, afternoon, and welcome back to the channel. What I got today here for you guys is not a Range Rover. This is a 2007 Chevrolet Suburban 1500, 5.3 E85 flex fuel, cloth interior, sunroof, and you know, I got this for a decent price, and I wanted to kind of give you a quick walk around and, you know, go through the reasons why, you know, I think the Suburban is probably one of the greatest SUVs ever made. It's not really just my opinion. I think everything else backs it up too, but I love these things. And I think over the next few years, and it's not like it's a new trend or anything, these are going to kind of go up in value as more people really start to appreciate how good they are. You know, it's not an unknown fact, but you know, there's just something about a Suburban that you know, everyone can like and appreciate. All right, let's start off. Chevy Suburban. I think I had a 99 1500 green SLT Suburban. I always loved that. I put BFGs on it and sold it. I always regret selling it. I only had 35,000 miles. But you know, there's something about these trucks that is, I don't know what the correct word for it, but I think it's familiar. I think that's really what it comes down to. It is, you know, Suburban is almost a word. It can be used as an adjective. It's, you know, it's the, what do you need to check a bunch of boxes. You got to move, you got to tow, you got to haul, you got to tow your kids around. You want to go to work. You want off-road capability. You want 4x4. It's all there. You want space. It's an easy button. You slam the easy button. You get a Suburban and call it a day. And you know, it's something that's kind of understated. It blends in everywhere. It's like a Jeep in the sense that I think it's kind of classless. And I'm not doing a full car review here or anything, but I'm kind of walking you through my thought process of why I picked something like this over, you know, a comparable other model. You know, I didn't get a Tahoe. I feel like with the Tahoe, you know, you always wish you had a little bit extra room or a little bit longer wheelbase for towing. And I think the proportions of the Suburban actually look a little bit better. You know, it really fills out in the longer model. This one actually has tinted windows in the front, which I don't really tint windows anymore. I don't really, you know, want to give anyone an excuse to pull me over. Not that I'm doing anything excessive or anything like that, but you know, it does make this one look pretty mean, and you know, like a you know, administrative you know, or government kind of corporate truck. This one's a great blue color. It does have some paint, a little paint peel here and there. Not something that touch up can't fix up or anything like that. But overall, it's pretty clean. There's no rust on the truck. We had it up on a lift. It really does look great. These aren't known for rust. They're not really old enough to really have major rust issues, but no leaks, no rust. You know, it was a Virginia truck. Really clean, rides great, decent tires. You know, overall, we didn't really have to do much to it. I changed the rear diff fluid. It needed a motor mount. You can't really see, there's a new motor mount in there. But other than that, there wasn't a whole lot of other work that needed to be done to it. Let's jump inside here. Needs a little bit of grease on the door hinges, but again, everything is laid out in a very ergonomically familiar way. It's not too fancy. The dash is simple. The gauges are easy to read. There's nothing that you don't need in here. This truck has cloth seats, which some people don't find very desirable, but I actually like the GM cloth seats. This was obviously a bigger guy that had it before the person that I bought it from, because this is kind of messed up, but that's not too hard of a fix. Let me see. It has, if I can find the keys. 170 some thousand miles. I don't have the odometer on, but yeah, it's got 170 some thousand miles. Where is it? There it is, 171,000 miles. And it runs absolutely flawlessly. Let me fire it up real quick. You know, all these GMs, you know, there's something about an LS, you know, it fires up, it's smooth. With the door closed, you can't feel the car running. This one is the E85 flex fuel, so it does have the cylinder deactivation. A lot of people don't like that feature. I don't really care. It's still working. It doesn't have any issues, so, you know, there is a tune. There is something you can do to program the V8 to V4 kind of cutoff, but you know, if it's still functioning, if it ain't broke, I'm not going to try to fix it or anything like that. But motor runs smooth. Recent oil change, you know, lots of great history on the Carfax and everything like that. No oil leaks. Again, it's clean and honest in here. You know, you almost want, when you pop the hood of a car you're buying, there to be a sheet of some dust or something on there, because the owner is not trying to flash anything up or make it look, you know, shinier or newer than it is. Usually that is suggesting that something is being hidden. So a nice kind of dusty engine bay is nice and honest. It's kind of something you want to look for. But again, GM 5.3, nothing to see here. You know, it's not a motor you ever even think about. You're not checking the coolant. You're not even, you're maybe checking the oil every once in a while, but it just runs smooth, starts every time. You know, besides normal maintenance, you know, you don't have to think about anything on this truck. All right, back on the inside, you know, another great feature that, you know, everyone really can appreciate about a Suburban, unlike the Land Cruisers and the Land Rovers and whatnot, is selectable all-wheel drive, which, you know, I think it kind of helps reduce wear on front components. It helps you handle better. You've got a better turning radius. It improves fuel economy. It's super easy to use. I don't like how these are laid out, honestly. You could potentially, you go for the lights and hit the four-wheel drive. Not that it would let you do that, but you know, four-wheel drive, high, low, easy to operate. I don't even think you have to put it in neutral, but you can activate auto for, you know, kind of snowy, rainy conditions if it has to jump in to activate the front differential if you're losing traction or something like that. Or for high, for low, again, actuated perfectly, no hesitation, and you can slam it back into two-wheel drive and do snowy burnouts and drifts if you want. You know, you like to have that option. I like to have that option. Yeah, front seats, everything's functional. AC is cold. This one's got a sunroof, which is kind of an odd option. You know, usually LTZs, the higher trim packages have sunroofs, but this one does. You know, you've got a pretty good view out of the front here. I like the kind of bubbled aggressiveness of the hood, bumps. I don't know what you want to call those. And yeah, you know, it's a nice flat dash. You can see out from the hood. It's still kind of boxy, so you're not really it wasn't really affected like the previous model as far as being too curvy and whatnot. So it is still pretty masculine. Huge interior. I mean, absolutely massive. You know, I like my soccer mom trucks and SUVs and whatnot. And this one's just amazingly huge back there. There's another 3 feet of room in the back hatch back that way. Yeah, we had about 7 people in here last night. My buddy got engaged, so I was toting everybody around. Yeah, you know, good bit of space. I mean, it's all there is. There's nothing even to really talk about this thing. You get in, you relax, you jump in. You know, oh, this one's got a tow package, which is great. Got your brake controller, tow haul mode. I should probably clean this up a little bit more, but you know, lots of cup holders, lots of you know, outlets and whatnot. Traction control buttons right there. You know, simple, easy. You know, it's just, this is how a truck should be. You know, you throw everything in here. You know, you can put all the seats down, and it's good to go. All right, go for a quick spin here in this. No drivetrain lash or hesitation. You know, it goes right into gear. No issues or anything there. Not that I would expect any. You know, again, when you get in one of these and it's well sorted and maintained, It just feels right. It doesn't feel like it's got 170,000 miles on them. In fact, if you start looking around the internet, most of these have way over 200, 300 even thousand miles. And most of them are still original owner. You know, I live in Virginia, and people drive these things out in the country just all over the place for 10, 15, 20 years and then get rid of them. And, you know, if they don't have any rust and they've been well maintained, they're not a bad buy. Yeah, plenty of power and pickup. You know, it's such a difference when you drive. You know, to me, this is a 2007, so this still feels like a new car in my opinion. But you got to realize that this thing is almost 14 years old at this point. But, you know, the other thing, these things, you know, when they have the factory spec tires on them and whatnot, they drive very stiff in a good way. You know, the handling's tight. You know, the brakes are good. It just doesn't feel like you've got all that weight and whatnot back there. And you really start to understand why people drive the hell out of these. They did come in a 2500 heavy duty 8-lug model, which is with a 6-liter Vortec. Huh. That's not good. Ooh. What the hell is that? All right, pop the hood. All right, so I just got a low oil pressure light. I am about a mile from my house, and I did just cut it off. There's no weird noises or anything like that. The oil level's good. One of it could just be a cinder or something that went out. That's really odd. I'm literally half a mile from my house. This is interesting. So, yeah, I'm gonna mess around here and then see if I want to finish making this video. All right, so quick Google search says these have oil cinder issues, which just does make sense. The oil is a little bit low, but not terrible. I'm gonna start it up again and see if it makes any weird noises. Sounds fine. Interesting. And okay, it looks like I got oil pressure again. Interesting. So, I'm not gonna eat my words. After doing some quick research, talking to my mechanic, because I just called him in a panic. I just killed a Suburban, but no, it seems to be okay. That might have been an odd little glitch, but it's definitely something I'll have to look at now. So I don't even remember what I was talking about, but that was interesting, you know, and that's why, you know, you want to put some miles on a car before you sign it off as good, either if you're going to keep it or sell it. You want to see what issues are going to arise so there's no major surprises. So that was interesting. I'm going to have to look that up. If you know anything, hey, drop me something in the comments. If you're a GM guy and know anything about 5.3 liter E85 LS oil cinder issues, because I think that'll be relevant. But yeah, all right. Well, hey, Suburbans, they're great. Even with a low oil pressure, they still run and drive perfectly. But yeah, man, that's old cars. That's the fun of it. Like you see, the pressure is fine now. It could have been anything, but definitely something to get looked at. But yeah, again, back to how these things drive. Drives great. It doesn't feel like a massive, 20-foot long SUV. Everything's good. It gets between 14 and 18 miles to gallon on the highway, at least that I've got. It's obviously not super fuel efficient, but it's really not. Freaking seatbelt. It's not inefficient, if you can say that. The 4 to 8 cylinder deactivation thing is kind of annoying. Like I said, you can program it out, but who knows? It's something that if I was going to keep it long term, I probably would, but it is functioning, so I'm not going to mess with it too much. Yeah, everything else, but again, everything else works works normally, and it's good so far. All right, well, that's really all I got on it. You know, I'll have to check the oil thing out. I still think they're one of the best SUVs. You know, I would love to find a 2500 to kind of use as a tow vehicle and people hauler / multi-purpose type deal. These things are getting increasingly popular, at least some of the older body style, as overland vehicles. A couple inches of lift, some BFG KO2s on it. They look really great. I think ARB even makes bumper for them. So, the possibilities are kind of endless with these things, and then you don't have to worry about all the reliability issues that you deal with on other trucks, or the higher maintenance costs. You can bring a Suburban anywhere to get worked on. They're fairly straightforward. Labor rates aren't terrible, and parts are readily and easily available between multiple different models. You have lots of wheel and tire options. Again, it's all pretty easy, straightforward. Even with the Land Cruiser, it's great, but again, if you want to swap tires or something, you're kind of limited to the Tundra wheels. You can't swap every single component, and then there's a lot of slightly specialty things that it requires as far as especially with the all-wheel drive system and whatnot. It just gets a little bit more complicated, and with this, it's less complicated. And I think that's going to be the end of the video because Frank just escaped. Dude, what are you doing? Thanks, guys. Hey, just again, if you want to see more content, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment below if you have anything to say about the Suburbans. They've touched pretty much everyone. Everyone's had one, or his mom had one, dad had one, grew up in one. So there's just something about them that most people like and have a story about, like a W123. So appreciate it, guys. Frank.